Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Will with the PGL Lobbycast, and tonight I'm doing a solo show. It's also a late show, and unfortunately, it's probably going to be a short show, mostly because I'm pretty sure y'all don't want to hear me talk for about 3 hours. Then, like I said, it's late, and I'd like to get some sleep. But hey, good evening, welcome. This is episode 341 of the PGL Lobbycast. As you can see, we are having some slight technical difficulties, as I believe we're using my laptop webcam instead of the live cam that we're so used to. I don't know how much of this we can attribute to my recent upgrade to Windows 10, which was actually a surprisingly smooth process, despite all the horror stories that I heard from people that had upgraded to Windows 10 or gone through the automated upgrade process. I can say that I was very successful in updating this laptop. It went through the first time. I was pleasantly surprised at how fast and easy it was. And I was even more surprised that my old laptop, which is circa 2008 and was originally a Windows Vista machine, which got later upgraded to Windows 7 Professional, also seems to have been very easily and quickly and successfully upgraded to Windows 10. As far as how Windows 10 goes, I'm still getting used to it. I have noticed a lot of Microsoft's sneaky little marketing tricks. They keep popping things up like, hey, we've noticed that you're using Office. Would you like to buy our subscription to the Office program? So far, I keep telling them no. But someday I may very well concede the fact and look at getting some kind of subscription. Otherwise, I just set Cortana up today. I haven't really played along with her too much, which sounds a lot dirtier than you would actually think for a computer program. I understand that Cortana is also available for the Google services, or at least it was as a kind of beta program. So I'll be interested to see when Cortana gets fully introduced to the Google Android platform. I think I'll get a little bit more versatility and more use out of it. Otherwise, what can I say? Hey, it's Windows 10. It's a Windows product. They're very heavily pushing their Edge browser, which so far seems to be a browser. It doesn't seem to be quite as terrible as the old Windows Explorer that so many of us opted to move away from for things like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or virtually any other browser out there. I'm still using Google. I'm still using Firefox, but I have been playing around with the Edge platform a little bit. And like I said, it's not bad. It's definitely an improvement over the old Microsoft Windows Explorer. So technical issues aside, hopefully the audio is coming through. Everything else here seems to have updated successfully. So we'll just kind of press on and see what else happens. As far as everything going on in the world today, we'll talk about some brief news, kind of the highlights for the week, if you will. We'll start off with movie news. Flipping through the interwebs today, I can tell you right now that they're already talking about a sequel to Straight Outta Compton. Straight Outta Compton, of course, is the biopic about NWA, famous and ground-setting rap group. The sequel that they're talking about is focusing on Death Row Records. So that will be interesting to see how that does. Let's see. Speaking of sequels, they're talking about Bad Neighbors 2, most likely going to star Selena Gomez. Moving away from sequels, we are talking about a new Tim Burton film. New Tim Burton film from looks to be Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. And it sounds like the teaser is already out. However, as a caution, the teaser is not going to give you any footage of the movie itself. It's just going to be a straight teaser. Being a fan of Tim Burton films, I'd be interested to see how he does with that source material. I know it's based on kind of a creepy little book for kids, so hopefully he can take that creepy and bring creepy back for good. So I think he's kind of wandered away from that a little bit with some of his latest big picture films. There are talks right now about Hellboy 3, which will be interesting. I'm a big fan of Ron Perlman, and I like seeing what he can do with that comic character. And let's see. Lucille Ball is apparently going to be coming out in a biopic potentially going to be played by Cate Blanchett. Cate Blanchett, of course, I know her best as Galadriel from the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I know she has a host of other amazing acting credits to her name. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it for movie news. Talking about some television news here. Looks like Steven Ryder is going to be joining Netflix's series Daredevil for the next season. He is known from Safe House and also The Butler. And it looks like we have some character selections, some actor selections for the next season, season 6 of Game of Thrones. It looks like they're going to be introducing Euron Greyjoy. Season 6, as we know, is kind of uncharted territory. They're moving away from the books because the most recent book has yet to be produced or released for public consumption. So HBO's kind of got some free reign. Now, obviously, George R.R. Martin is still executive producing the series and therefore still has a lot of input and can definitely bring a lot of his ideas and his characters and his notions to the series. So I think it'll be good to see how all that falls into place. For those of you that are following actors that are actually playing these characters, the character of Euron Greyjoy is going to be played, and I just completely lost my space, so give me a second while I find this here. It's going to be played by a Danish actor, Pelu Asbæk. I'm sure I'm butchering the pronunciation of the name. But yeah, we'll see how he does. Hopefully season 6 kicks off with a bang and holds everyone's attention from here on out. Moving on quickly over to video game news, the latest stories for the week. Nothing too terribly exciting. It sounds like Metal Gear Solid 5 is having some service issues on the PS4. Patchy connections, server issues, other items of that ilk. They're going to be releasing a patch for The Witcher 3, which will hopefully expand some of your romance dialogue options. If you're looking for additional expanded romance in The Witcher 3, hopefully this patch is what the game is missing. I never played it long enough to get into a romance issue because it came out simultaneously with a couple of other big titles. And let's face it, it's a huge game. I enjoyed what I played with it. I can't wait to get back to it. It's just a matter of finding time to do so. Marty O'Donnell. Marty O'Donnell, for those of you that are true video game music connoisseurs, is one of the composers for Bungie. He did music for Destiny. He did music for Halo. He recently won a court battle against Bungie, and it looks like his settlement's going to be in the tune of about $142,000 plus several thousand Bungie shares of stock. So hopefully that is a agreeable compromise. I'm trying to pull up all the details on what the lawsuit was about. Again, technical issues on my side. I apologize. But I know that if you troll the interwebs as much as I do, you should be able to find the full article out there. Like I said, really tonight, I'm just going to give you the highlights. Things that I found interesting that hopefully you do as well. And if not, well, oh well. Other couple headlines here. There's going to be some Star Wars Battlefront beta sites that are going to be bogus. So if you're hunting for the beta access, be careful where you go. Let's see. Destiny, of course, is getting some major drops in advance of the Taken King. Some major updates, some major patches to get prepped for all that. It looks like they're adding a whole bunch of different bounties, including weapon bounties. Let you earn some titles and badges and other such stuff prior to the release of the expansion pack itself. And really, for gaming news, I think that's about all there is for gaming news. Like I said, guys, it's going to be a short show tonight. It's just me. I know I'm not that entertaining. But hey, what I can tell you this week is, as far as some entertainment in my limited spare time, we finally watched Mad Max Fury Road. I got to say, I really enjoyed it. And also, surprisingly, my wife, Erin, who was initially very resistant to watching the movie, also seems to have really enjoyed it as well. So I think they did something right. I think George Miller's kind of feminist, pro-feminism take, if I can be so bold, on the post-apocalyptic wasteland that is Mad Max's universe, satisfied. I happen to enjoy a lot of the I'm going to show you all the story, but I'm not going to tell you all the story. I thought that was kind of a cool twist on it. I'd be interested to see what the actual dialogue count is. I'm pretty sure Tom Hardy's dialogue rolls probably be less than a typewritten page. But I liked it. I dug it. I thought it was pretty sweet. Otherwise, for us, we've been watching some Face Off. We've been watching some Mythbusters. I'm missing the old build crew, Tori and Carrie Byron, Grant Imahara. Miss you guys. Hope you come back. Hope you find something else to work on. So I would love to see what else you guys can bring to the world of science and nerddom. Music-wise, I've been listening to a little bit of everything. Again, as usual, still not too far into the podcast world. It's about the best that I get. Actually been branching out a little bit. Listening to some Ludacris. White boy from the burbs. Here I is. But I gotta say, every now and then, some hip hop hits the spot. Ah, boy. I think that's about all I got. Anyways, I think I'll wrap it up. This has been episode 341. Sorry, guys. It's a short show tonight. It's a late show tonight. But hey, we're keeping the streak alive. Join us next week for episode 342. Hopefully, we'll have a little bit more to talk about. And hopefully, it won't just be me sitting on this couch. We'll see. Anyways, I wish you all a wonderful night, a great weekend. Have a safe Labor Day, most importantly. If you do choose to drink, don't drive. Call a friend, call a cab. Stay where you are, drink some more. But make smart choices. Be safe. Come back and watch us next week. Take care, y'all.